إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، في سورة آل عمران يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى: زين للناس حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث إلى آخر الآية. In Surah Al Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us in this ayah that beautified in the eyes of people, in particular men, the love of starting several things, but starting with women and then children. That's the topic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives us guidance in everything we need. And the beauty of this religion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gives you the warning and tells you who is good and who is bad, and what's a good place and what a bad place, what's the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. So when someone tells you who is your enemy and you trust that person, you have to take that enemy as an enemy. And if someone tells you this is your friend or this is a good thing to do, then you need to trust. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, for instance, إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا. Shaitan is a clear enemy for you. Deal with him as such. Why do you have to come and think and contemplate and worry and say why and who and you know you're dealing with the shaitan, and you know you're getting the whispers from the shaitan, and you know the act that you're doing, it is from the plans of the shaitan, and then you don't know what's happening or who is right and who is wrong, and you seek advices, and you are literally dealing with the shaitan. Give you an example. A shaitan comes to a girl who's wearing hijab, for instance, and whispers to her to take the hijab. So the girl would come and start giving excuses like, I don't feel it's coming from my heart. I feel I'm a hypocrite. I will be more sinful wearing it. So I would say, ask yourself a question. So now you are doing the bad thing by wearing the hijab. Right. Okay, take the hijab off. Now you're doing the right thing. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy with you. They freeze. So it's obvious from the shaitan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, beautified in the eyes of men and top. You have money, you have animals, you have land, you have wealth, you have gold, you have silver, you have everything. He started with women. So this is the top of the list. So anything that is more beautified, it's so natural, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the pleasure in men in looking at women. That's the test. That's the creation. And He commanded us to look down and to not look. The first one, by mistake, you're forgiven. After that, it's recorded. In fact, it counts as zina, part of zina, not as it lists under the zina. The ear commits zina, the hand commits zina, the eye commits zina, and such. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam clarified that even more. Maybe this one you will say, oh yeah, what's the proof? Because he mentioned it in the beginning that it is the most. Okay, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, ما من فتنة ما تركت من فتنة هي أشد على الرجال من فتنة النساء. Prophet ﷺ said, there is no test or bigger test, more injurious to men I have left more than women on them. And in another hadith, he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and He is making us inherit and take care of this land. And the warning, ittaqu dunya wattaqu النساء. Be careful of this world and be careful of women. Imagine when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّ مِنْ أَزْوَاجِكُمْ وَأَوْلَادِكُمْ عَدُوًّا لَكُمْ فَاحْذَرُوهُ. Even those you love from the women, be careful. Those you love, not a stranger, not someone in the street, be careful from your own wife. How? Because the fitna is in love and in no love. In no love, by looking and by lust. In love, by submitting for what you like and doing the wrong things. A person may not come to masjid because his wife tells him, let's sit down, let's go eat, let's go do something, so he will give up the obligations to please her. A person works all of his life, and you probably, those who live overseas concur with that statement, so they can get some money so they can marry. That's how much they are in need for marriage, so they work. Look at Prophet Musa alayhi salam. 10 years, shepherd, dowry for his wife. 10 years of working. Why? Because the need is big and the fitna is huge. And the responsibility is big on us. For your wife, for your daughter, for your relatives, you know they are fitna. So are you trying to alleviate that and make it easy by, for instance, dressing properly, wearing good hijab, not mixing, commanding haya or instilling haya? Are we doing that? Are you doing that? We think the day of judgment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would call you, okay, Muhammad, come here, okay, you did this and this and this, good job, go. No. We're done with you now. Let's bring your child one at a time. What did you do to him? What did you do to him? What did you do to her? What did you do? Bring your wife now. What did you do to her? All of these responsibility, just like you work in a shop and you are a manager, and the end of the year they're going to check, okay, what did you do with this product and that product? Why did you sell this with this price? Why did you buy this one with this price? A responsibility. So you as a responsible person, it's not just I take care of myself and alhamdulillah I'm feeding my children and that's it. Individual. You might be a wonderful person with one child and did not do the right thing with the second child or the third child, and you're accounted for it. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us or gives us something, we need to take it so seriously and take it to the point. If you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this is a huge fitna on you, how can you put yourself in a situation and say, no, I'm all right, I can handle myself, astaghfirullah, I'm not like this, I'm not like that. You are. In fact, when you say that, you're even worse than the person who's doing it. Because you're basically saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't know what He's talking about. I am an exception from those people. The same thing for the sisters. If you know you are a source of fitna, if you do anything that increases that fitna, you are getting double the sin. One, by your behavior or your dress or your presence, and the second one, because you're causing other people to look and to do and to talk. And I know some cute people are going to say, well, it's their problem for looking, and it's your problem for being present, and it's your problem for talk the way you talk, and it's your problem for giving him the opportunity to do that, and it's your problem for talking in things that is not necessary. So it's not just one side. It's not one person who is going to be blamed, only the sinning person. There are reasons If I am a teacher and I allow my students to do something wrong, then I am responsible even though they are doing the wrong thing. So it has to be from both ways. We have to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this is fitna. And by the way, all of this talk about sisters not with hijab, with khimar. We're not talking about women who are just not wearing proper hijab or something, they are the fitna. No, we're talking about the sisters who are wearing perfect hijab, they are fitna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the Sahaba radiallahu anhum and saying all of this. And when you look and you lower your gaze, it's not from a woman who's not dressed properly. It's from the one who dressed properly and improperly. From both. And the fitna is not just by looking. The scholar said there's so much things that from the look the men get, nobody is aware of. The fitna that can result from that look. So people take that road from here to Mexico. As long as the sister is wearing hijab, it's okay. You can sit, you can stare, you can talk, you can joke, you can... Who said that? Who said that? كل المؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم وكل المؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهم. It's not only men. The test of women, men on women, is easier, but also they're commanded to lower the gaze. When and how? When there is a need. You know, some cute people would come and say, oh, you want us to walk, close our eyes blind? Maybe you need to consult with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Him what He means. Because you know, when something's so clear, the ayat are so clear, the hadith is so clear, it doesn't need an interpreter. Lower your gaze. What does that mean? Unless there is a need, you don't need to look. You come and ask the question, okay, I may look and lower my gaze and answer the question and go. But to make it so open and so talking, oh, alhamdulillah, we're wearing hijab and we're brothers and this is the 25th century and all of that good stuff. I mean, where is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can we ever have that haya? How can we ever even think of it? How can our children feel about it? We don't advise, we don't command, we broke loose, we let everything is okay. We grab every little tiny opinion and just build on it, and this is the rule. You have 99 scholars saying something haram and one scholar saying, okay, so I'll dish all of that 99 and take that. Not only that, and I start looking at those who are following the 99 are wrong. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. You're 1% and you are right and I'm wrong. It's bad enough you're taking a deviant opinion in most cases, but also at the same time you're looking at me as I'm a deviant person. This is like وَيَا قَوْمِ مَا لِي أَدْعُوكُمْ إِلَى النَّجَاةِ وَتَدْعُونَنِي إِلَى النَّارِ. I'm calling you for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you call me for hellfire. I am advising you, وَلَكِنْ وَنَصَحْتُ لَكُمْ وَلَكِنْ لَا تُحِبُّونَ النَّاصِحِينَ. But I'm advising you, it seems like you don't like people who advise you. Imagine when you come and you give an advice for people to make life easy. For the sisters, to get the hasanat that qualifies them for the Jannah the easiest way. As the Prophet ﷺ said, not as Hasan Khalil said. Which is the Prophet ﷺ made it equal to every good deed man can do, which is to be kind to her husband and take care of him. And she can enter the Jannah from any door. When you come and you say something, it is from the hadith, it is from the Quran, it makes life easy, it's so rewarding, we all work for it, and then some sister comes in and tells you, you know, some scholars say that the wife doesn't have to serve her husband. What are you, married to a devil? Wallah, if a neighbor comes in my house and he is not a believer, I'll serve him and I'll take care of him. You forgot he's your husband, you forgot he is the father of your children, you forgot you picked him, you forgot you love him. Forget the religion. You even lost it for the human things simply because you're so defiant to the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.